Hey, good morning, everybody. It's the Fantasy Sports Boss with Fantasy Football Live. It is Sunday, November 19th, 2023, and we are now in the stretch run of the season, week 11. Yeah, a decent slate of games today. Not great. Of course, the highlight will come tomorrow when the Philadelphia Eagles take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Great game. Prime fantasy players all up and down both of those lineups. So that's going to be a really good one. And that's probably going to decide a lot of games this week. We also have the Jets taking on the Bills, desperation game for the two of them. Miami Dolphins back in action as well, coming off of the bye. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Justin Jefferson, of course, was not activated by the Minnesota Vikings. And really, again, not a surprise because originally when he suffered this injury, it seemed like it was going to be more along the lines of 6 weeks. However, I do think he will be back next week. Is there a small concern about maybe if they hold him out until after the bye? I don't think so. I mean, the Vikings still have to fight for a playoff spot. They're going to get Jefferson back in there as quickly as they possibly can, but it's going to have to come next week. So Josh Dobbs will have to roll with TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison again this week without Jefferson. But Jefferson, at least we know he's going to be returning soon. Guys, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel as well. Sorry for the lack of lighting this morning. I have guests that are here for Thanksgiving for the Thanksgiving week, so I had to move to a different location today instead of the usual office. So that's why it's a little more dim in terms of the lighting this morning. But we don't care about the lighting. We're here about the fantasy football information, and I will not be on for the 11:30. Obviously, came on a little bit earlier today. Will not be on for the 11:30 injury report update. But obviously, stuff's already breaking, and that usually winds up happening. Each week anyway, even before the official list comes out. Devin Achane also back this week. He's going to have a full allotment of touches, and what that means is that. Prior to getting hurt, him and Raheem Mostert were really like the 1A, 1B. And I think that setup will continue this week. Achane lit the world on fire, lit the fantasy football world on fire before he wound up getting injured. And it was just one of those, we can't have anything nice in fantasy football moments because Achane was just so unbelievable. But he's back today. Obviously, he's not going to score once every 6 times he touches the football, which is what he did prior to getting hurt. But just the fact that he's in the lineup again means you can put him out there as a strong running back too in really in all leagues. Kelsey dropped in a 50 price with his parents being, yeah, Kelsey. Yeah, I mean, listen, Kelsey comes off a dud, against the Denver Broncos. And how about the Denver Broncos? We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Hey, Ed, how are you? We talked about how they are playing better. I think they've won 3 in a row now. They've beaten the Chiefs. They've not, they basically embarrassed the Buffalo Bills, and the defense is playing great. I mean, they went from giving up to 70 points against Miami to really locking things down the last couple of weeks. So definitely impressed with them of late. Javonte Williams looks like his old self now in terms of being able to handle a full workload. Russell Wilson's playing underrated football. So the Broncos, they've been good, and the defense has been posing a problem. Debate starting Murray or Fields. Murray. That we talked about this as well during the past week. The Houston Texan Arizona game is going to be a bonanza for fantasy points. It's going to be insane. There is no defense being played by both of these teams. You have Kyler Murray back now, who's really elevated Trey McBride. He's going to elevate Marquise Brown. Brown had AJ Terrell last week. That's why it was a tough match against the Falcons, but I think he's going to be just fine. And I did buy low for him at the last minute last night. I did a deal. I traded David Montgomery because I have a lot of backs in my friends and family league. I have Isaiah Pacheco. I have Javonte Williams. I was able to make that deal with Justin Fields, and I got Sam Howell, who's been really unbelievable. Like one of the best stories of at the quarterback position this year. And I got Marquise Brown. So I'm sitting pretty good right now in terms of my whiteouts in that league as well. And we'll just see what happens there. But yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of points. I mean, you have Tank Dell, Nico Collins is back for this game. Dalton Schultz has been quietly really good. So I think there's going to be a lot going on in that game. Brandon Cooks or Ridley. Carolina's defense, I would go with Cooks because they found something last week. So I would definitely go with Cooks in that one. I have to go to work, but wanted to show my support. Oh, thank you, SC Mahalo as well. And I really appreciate the kind words. If Singletary does well this week, yeah, Pierce is not playing again this week. And Singletary has been good. The opportunity is there, and he's got a good matchup. So I think that is a good spot for Singletary to further solidify his hold on the job. Connor or Singletary? I gotta go Connor because I think he's gonna have a better chance to score. Uh, Lost Burrow in my fantasy, but I was able to get Purdy. Yeah, so the Joe Burrow thing. I mean, who would have thought, guys, at the beginning of the season that we'd be in a situation, week 11, where both the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals, who were universally considered along with the Chiefs as the cream of the crop in the AFC, both of these teams um, looking at a scenario where they probably will not make the playoffs. Like, shocking, absolutely shocking. And the Bills really just imploding offensively, and the Bengals with the injuries. And now, listen, you have the Deshaun Watson situation in Cleveland. Amari Cooper, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, all of their fantasy values are going to take a nosedive, no doubt about it. And speaking of Josh Allen, I'm actually entertaining the notion in my work league where I'm 8-2 of starting Kyler Murray over Josh Allen. Now, Allen has the Jets. He played horribly against the Jets last year. He played horribly against them in week 1, where he basically threw the game away, literally. So I'm really considering starting Kyler Murray over Josh Allen. Unbelievable. But that offense is just a mess. It's broken. I don't know if they're going to be able to fix it on the fly starting this week, but Kyler Murray looks appealing to me this week. Lost both Watson and Cousins, starting Howell or Kyler. You know what? You got to go Howell against the Giants. I mean, the Giants have completely mailed it in, Steve. You know, I think Brian Robinson, this is a Brian Robinson smash game. He's one of my favorite plays of the week. No Antonio Gibson. So, I think it's going to be a good game for the Commanders today. And again, Sam Howell, I believe is QB 10 right now on the season. He 300 yards almost every game of late. He's decisive. He's throwing the ball, with good accuracy. He can move in the pocket. He's been very, very good. Will Josh Allen be fine today? I can switch him from Charlie. That's the situation I'm weighing right now. I'm leaning toward going Kyler Murray just because he never plays well against the Jets. And you got to understand, DJ Reed and not Sauce Gardner is the number 1 ranked cornerback according to Pro Football Focus. So that's something that we have to take into account here. Rondale Moore sleeper today. Yeah, Rondale Moore definitely is a sleeper today for sure. I can see that. Choose one: Charbonnet, Hunt, or Herbert. I think I would have to go Hunt because they're going to lean on the run a lot in this game. Should I trade off Kincaid? I don't think you need to. I think the tight end, Stephon Diggs is going to be shrouded today. I mean, he's going to have to deal with Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed. I think it's going to be a difficult game for him. But James Cook, I think, actually is a solid play. The Jets are not stopping the run this season. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL at stopping the run. Their strength on defense is shutting down the pass. So James Cook, who comes off a really good game last week, I think is a good start again this week. Murray or Howell? Seems like that everybody's got the same issue there. I'm going to go Murray because I think Howell's going to not have to throw it much in the second half. Achane or Ford? Man, Achane is such a big play waiting to happen. I might have to lean Achane. I hate the fact that the waiver running back saved my season. Kyren now been riding the Gus bus for yeah. The Gus Edwards thing is just ridiculous. I mean, he's the new Jamal Williams of last year. Start Ayuk or Pollard? Ayuk. Listen, if Tony Pollard couldn't get going last week against the Giants when they scored a bazillion points, then it's just not going to happen. Like, that's just the way. Steps up. Flowers, OBJ. Yeah, Andrews, that's just a devastating injury. Isaiah likely is a good pickup this week. I would say OBJ. He's playing well. Like the last couple of weeks, he's starting to look a little bit like his old self. Not the Giants version, but like, the Cleveland Brown version, where he still was explosive, but not to the degree that he was with the Giants. Hey, Mark, how are you? Yes, thank you. Yes, we did win our semifinal high school football game. So we're on to the finals Friday at 1:00. So Black Friday, we are playing for everything, for the state championship, for our class on Long Island here. So we're going to be going on Friday. We're taking on an undefeated Massapequa team. And, I feel pretty confident, but yeah, thank you, Ed. I appreciate that. $9.99 super chat from Rain Young. Let's have a good week, boss. Yes, let's have a good week. 2 important questions. Pick one for each. Raheem Mostert or Singletary, or at flex, Courtland Sutton or Rasheed Rice. I'm going to have to go Mostert still, even though I think Singletary is a decent matchup. And Sutton or Rashee Rice. I would have to say Sutton because he's scoring. Not that Rashee Rice is not scoring as well, but I'm going to have to go slightly into Sutton because Jerry Judy is doing nothing, right? And they're getting very little production out of the tight end. So Sutton is the clear number one guy, whereas Rashee Rice takes a backseat to Travis Kelce. So I'm going to go Sutton there. But again, thank you, Rain, for that super chat. Very, very generous of you. I really appreciate that. Warren, Henderson, Moore, Chandler. Pick two. Warren, definitely. Madison, I think, is playing, so I think Chandler is out. So I'd have to go Rondale Moore. Trade deadline over. No looking back, just forward. Yeah, the trade deadline is over, guys. So that kind of sucks because the trading is like the best part of fantasy football. So that is disappointing. But now at least we can just move on with our teams for better or worse. Is Brandon Cooks number two? Yes, he is. Although Ferguson, the tight end, is like literally the number one look around the red zone. Basically continuing what they did with Dalton Schultz last year. So Ferguson is a good tight end the rest of the way. I have Rice this week. Yeah, Rice has been fine. I mean, I know the snap count is still not there yet. I don't know what Andy Reid is waiting for. By the way, Andy Reid off a bye, whether it's in the playoffs or regular season, 31-6. So that's just a staggering number there. Thank you, boss. Help me make the decision. Oh, you're welcome, Rain, and thank you for that super chat. Always very generous of you. I really appreciate that. Davante Adams or Kirk? I'd have. I mean, it seems like they're trying to get the ball to Davante. I'm gonna have to go Davante Adams. Less competition. Christian Kirk has more competition that he has to deal with. All right, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. So Dorian Thompson-Robinson is playing, and this is a surprise to me because PJ Walker played all right and had something going with Amari Cooper. Before Deshaun Watson came back, and now it's Thompson Robinson. So I don't understand that move. But Amari Cooper owners, he's now wide receiver 3. Should I drop Chuba for Steelers defense? Just roll a Chiefs defense. I would do the Steelers defense. Chuba is nothing. He's not worth holding on to, KJ. Got to win that state championship. Otherwise, yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? We've been close, but haven't been able to get over the hump. Hopefully, this is the year. All right, so I'm just looking here. Alexander Madison is expected to play, full participant on Friday. So anybody that has Tyson Chandler, that's not going to happen now. Gibbs, Jacobs, or Achane, half PPR. I still got to go Gibbs and Jacobs because we don't know what the work. I know they said full workload, but that's in conjunction with Raheem Mostert. Whereas the other two, we're going to get more than a decent amount of looks. Hoping his Dolphins D's healthy would have. Yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins D myself. Michael Wilson not playing. Noah Brown is not playing. So that's a real shame for Noah Brown owners because you got a 170-yard game out of him last week. One of the best in-week pickups of the season last week was Noah Brown, but now he's out. So Nico Collins, dust him off, get him back in there, and it should be another good game for Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz, who finally came around after I promoted him all summer. Keenan Allen, he's playing today. No surprise. Garrett Wilson is playing, and Tyler Lockett is supposed to play as well. Desmond Ridder named the starting quarterback the rest of the season for the Falcons. So more Falcons disaster. And I just hope that he continues to shit the bed so that Arthur Smith finally gets fired. And I think he's going to get fired. I just can't see this Falcons team getting into the playoffs. And even if they do, they're going to get crushed in their first game. And, I don't think there's any question that they need to get somebody in there who knows what they're doing with these prime offensive players. Robert Woods is nothing. No, I wouldn't bother with him. I mean, I don't like going with guys whose, best years came like 3 years ago. Keenan Allen, Keenan Allen is something else. The guy is as tough as nails. He's had a lot of serious injuries in his career, lacerated kidney. He had the torn ACL in the opener, back in the day, but the guy is a gamer. Like he balls out every week. Always loved having Keenan Allen. This is the first year I don't have him in like what seems like forever. Because I did think he was slipping last year, the hamstring injury, guys his age, look at Tyler Lockett. He's got the hamstring he can't get over. We've seen Davante Adams and Mike Evans get beat up as well. Again, 30 and up for receivers is usually trouble, whereas running backs, it's 27 and up. But Allen has been great this season, no doubt about it. Can the Chargers get out of their own way? That's the question. This is a horribly coached team, and I still say that Bill Belichick, once he leaves New England at the end of the year, and he will, this is the team I would be looking at. I have PPR. I need 3. DJ Moore, Rice, Warren, Lockett, Ridley, Hunt. Wow, that's a lot of guys. I would say DJ Moore, Warren, and Kincaid. I think that they're going to have to throw underneath a lot because the Jet corners are going to shut down Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. So I think, and the Jets haven't been great at defending the tight end, so I think Kincaid is worth a look for sure. Just going through some more stuff here. Dallas Goedert is out. We know he's got that fracture. But again, like one of the stories of this season has been the tight end. Like the tight end position is no longer a cesspool, top heavy, position. We've had a lot. All the rookies really have balled out. Kincaid, Laporta, Musgrave to a lesser extent. You've had a lot of Taysom Hill doing his thing. A lot of guys that have come out, and Njoku's had like a mini comeback this year, especially of late. So the tight end position is not as crappy as it usually is. So that's a good thing to see there. Belichick, Atlanta. You know what, Mark? He's not going to go somewhere without a quarterback. They have to get a quarterback. And I don't think Bill, at his age, is willing to develop one. Now, there's a lot of top guys coming out. There could be 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first round this year. So that's possible. It's seeing Bill in California just doesn't seem right to me, but having the opportunity to coach Justin Herbert, that would be a no-brainer. And again, I think Justin Herbert's being held back, obviously, by his coaching. The worst coaching in the NFL to me has been Atlanta and the Chargers, and even the Jets to an extent. Drop Kelsey's value. Happy I didn't get him. Well, Kelsey's been fine. I don't think there's. I mean, I know he struggled last week, but I'm not worried about Kelsey. McBride, Trey McBride. I'm starting him in both of my leagues today. He's the guy I picked up when Darren Waller was lost for the season. I might as well just cut Darren Waller at this point too. But I am starting him over Tyler Lockett in one game because it's a 1:00 start. I'm starting him in the flex, and then my other league, balls to the wall with him in the flex with TJ Hawkinson as my tight end. Hey, Chris, how are you? Madison is apparently suiting up. Do I still flex Chandler or use Jameson Williams? No, I wouldn't use Chandler or Jameson Williams. I'll probably use Curtis Samuel. Chandler's not worth it because Madison's now going to get the workload, I think. Oh, I see what you're saying, Delgy. I'm sorry about that. I misinterpreted what you were saying. But yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. No doubt about it. Kincaid or McBride. McBride's got the better matchup. So when it's that close, you just go with the better matchup and the potential for a shootout. There will be no shootout in Jets Buffalo, not with Zach Wilson at quarterback and with a broken Bills offense. There will be a shootout with Houston and Arizona. I think the over-under is 47 or 48. That's a big number. No defense on either side. 2 very capable quarterbacks, athletic quarterbacks, pass receiving tight ends, good backs. I mean, this has all the makings of a high-scoring game for sure. No doubt about it. But yeah, so, I can't believe we're already in week 11. Amazing. We have, and by the way, so Thanksgiving, obviously Thursday, we will have a stream Wednesday. All right. A preview stream for the Thanksgiving games. And Thanksgiving is always such a huge benchmark in the fantasy football season. Are you making the playoffs? Are you not? I mean, now it's week 14, which is the final week of the regular season for most of us. So, we'll just have to see what happens there. Sorry, guys. I know that the bits are dropping on this thing. I don't have the best connection in this room, and I apologize. I like I said, I've been kicked out of my office probably for the next couple of days. So I'm just dealing with what I'm dealing with here in terms of connection. Still starting Aaron Jones. Yes, you're committed to Aaron Jones. And listen, he's getting the carries now. I don't believe in this Packers offense. That's another team that just they're not making the best decisions with their offensive players. Like Aaron Jones should be getting the goal line. Remember, Aaron Jones, before A.J. Dillon came along, was a big touchdown producer. Like he did the job. And then they brought Dillon aboard and they said, oh, he's huge, right? He's got to be the goal line back. And it didn't even need to be that way. That's what was really frustrating. And by the way, as far as David Montgomery, I did trade him yesterday. The Bears stopped the run defense. The Bears run defense is really good. So I think this is not a great matchup for David Montgomery, especially with him not catching the football and Jahmyr Gibbs really possibly earning the majority of touches now. I think Montgomery was 40% of the snaps last week, which is not great. So, um, I think going forward, Montgomery may not have that impact that he had earlier in the season. You think the Rams throw the ball a lot, so we're starting Henderson, right? Yeah, I think if you're desperate enough, you got to start Henderson now. I'm playing again Keenan this week, hoping Green Bay defense can hold him down. Yeah, I mean, Keenan's always going to get his because they use that short to intermediate passing game, and I don't see the Packers defense doesn't scare me, so I'm not too concerned about that. Yeah, so as far as the rest of the day, like I said, I'll be doing the instant injury updates, and man, I don't, was Thursday night an omen for how bad it's going to be today with the injuries? I mean, that was absolutely insane with Mark Andrews and Joe Burrow going down. Um, the real shame of it all is when these quarterbacks go down and when they get hurt the way they do, like Joe Burrow and Aaron Rodgers in the opener, it really dilutes the product. And it turns fantasy football into a which team is the healthiest team at the end of the season scenario. So that's why you need to have that really strong bench. Like in my work league, I have 3 quarterbacks, which I tried to trade one of them. Nobody was biting, but I have Allen, I have Kyler Murray, and I have Sam Howell. So if anything happens to any of those guys, I have depth. And I think that's what is the overlooked aspect of winning fantasy football leagues is getting to the end point with your bench intact. Minnesota money line. Yeah, I think the Steelers are underdogs, right? I do like the Steelers today. I did pick the Steelers today. McBride or Schultz. McBride. I think McBride might be the number 1 target now in Arizona. Listen, I mean, I think he's tight end 3 or 4 since Zach Ertz went down. He's had those 2 huge monster games. You throw out the Clayton Tune game, that game doesn't count. But yeah, no, that I think for sure that Trey McBride is going to be a thing the rest of the season. He's just way too athletic. He is a receiver in a tight end's body, and you just got to ride this out the rest of the way for sure. So anyway. All right, what's a good bench slot IR for 2? What's a good bench slot IR number? Oh, I'd say 3. I think 3 IR spots is good. Just tested positive for COVID yesterday. Oh man, I'm Zamora. I'm really sorry. I haven't, it's still here, unfortunately. Since I can't wear, yes. I mean, I guess that's the bright side. How are you feeling? I mean, how are your symptoms? I don't know if you guys remember last year I had it and I streamed through it and it was pretty rough. I had it for about 8 days. Everybody's different. I tried to kind of hide it from you guys at first but it just, I'm like, eventually I got COVID. This is, I was sniffling like crazy. I had the body aches and had a fever for only 2 days, but it kind of lingered for like I couldn't go back to work until I tested negative, and I was still positive like 8 or 9 days after the first day, which was really frustrating. And I did feel like a prisoner almost because I was stuck in my basement by myself for that whole time, and you start to get a little loopy. So yeah, I hope you feel better, Zamora. That sucks right before Thanksgiving, man. I that's tough. That's always the fear right before the holidays, winding up getting sick and not being able to be with your family. But if, you're looking at the bright side, yes, you get to watch uninterrupted football today and, maybe binge watch Netflix and stuff like that. McBride prediction went up 2 points to someone out in Arizona today. Yeah, Michael Brown is out. Mark, he's out. Yeah, it does seem that to happen that way. I was sick a couple of weeks ago. I think it was the flu. I was negative for COVID. It only was like 2 or 3 days, but I felt miserable. It's once that temperature drops, and I work in a school, so like, I mean, it's just everybody's sick, and you're just in a congregate setting, and it's pretty rough. So, so I'm just gonna let somebody was coming to my house. Yeah, once that temperature drops and everybody get stuck indoors together, that's usually when it happens. So, but anyway, feel better, Zamora. That is rough. But the one thing I will tell you that helped me is alternating Advil and Tylenol every 3 hours. So you take the Advil, 3 hours later, take the Tylenol. 3 hours later, take the Advil. Go back and forth, and that really kind of eliminated the fever aspect of it and really cut down on the body aches as well. Trade Higgins for Hollywood, absolutely. Higgins, no Joe Burrow means Higgins' value right into the gutter. Same thing with Amari Cooper now with no Deshaun Watson. What a disaster the Deshaun Watson thing has been. Just unbelievable. All right, guys, I think I'm going to drop off here. I got some stuff I got to do before the game. So I will definitely chat with you guys a little bit later, anything that happens during the day injury-wise. So good luck with your matchups today. Hope you all win. This is the stretch drive. Let's get it done. And then hopefully later on today when we chat again, that we have a good day going on. So have a great day, everybody. I will chat with all of you later.